9 Pandas, even though it shows the Hellraisers logo on the top right. This game is indeed in beta. Cinderin, upper bracket. Winner of this faces off against Gaming Gladiators, which have looked, well, unstoppable, I guess you could say. Interesting draft from both sides. Last pick, Timbersaw from Tundra, and this does look like a really good Timbersaw game, other than getting doomed at some point, but counters the tiny mid and destroys Alchemist in theory, or at least it has in the past.
Both the panel and you were talking about, you said it first, I'll give you credit.
Thank you.
You called that AA as a possibility after the first 4 picks of 9 Pandas, and it got me wondering, I mean, I would imagine this team would have identified that it was a possibility. I wonder why they opted against playing 5 AA with Wraith King and then getting the Windranger mid. If there's like, because you don't get a much better AA game than this. You have Underlord and Wraith King and Crystal Maiden and Shackle Shot setting up Ice Blasts, and the enemy team has like 4 or 5 heroes that are relying on being healed. So if even this doesn't make for an AA game, which is kind of funny because it was one of the contested heroes at the start of the tournament,
yeah,
right?
It feels like they've forgotten all about it.
It's like it just fell off a cliff. But Tundra do rate the Timber higher. There's a couple of risks for the hero. It definitely has good core-to-core matchups, but as you mentioned, Doom can be a problem. I think Nether Ward is a little bit of an X factor when it comes to Timber. He spends a lot of mana in fights, but he will probably be itemizing a pipe here, or someone else will for him. Or not, he won't. Underlord will itemize a pipe for him, and that will help him a lot. So.
Tundra with 3 of the 4 bounty runes. This is something that teams like Tundra and Gaming Gladiators, I have noticed, and maybe I'm just pulling this out of my ass, and maybe it's completely not correct, but I'm going to say it as if it is because I'm pretty sure it is. They are way better at collecting bounty runes throughout the entirety of a game than any other team, because it feels like they just always have this. I think it was this last series with the Gaming Gladiators. They showed the stat, like they were up like 8K or something like that, and it was almost entirely because they got so many more bounty runes throughout the course of the game. And I don't know if it's because there's so many objectives now that people are forgetting about. Like, there's just so many different things to think about now. These teams seem to just be on another level when it comes to like these minor details.
I think some players, for whatever reason, are just faster to adapt to the clock, if you will. Like, Dota's clock changes whenever a new mechanic is introduced, and obviously in this one we have a 20-minute clock, we have a 7-minute clock, we have a 3-minute clock with the Lotuses, and some players are just really good at timing things out, being there at the right time, knowing how long it takes to run from A to B, and it just becomes a fluent part of their playstyle. It's also one of the reasons why when a new patch comes out, people need to spam a lot of games, because it needs to become second nature. It needs to be something you don't need to think about on the game, because Dota is a game where there's enough going on at once that you don't need extra things to stress you out. So, yeah, I can't tell you exactly why it is the case, but some players just do it better, and like you said, Gaming Gladiators is one of the teams that does it.
Yeah, from Tundra's side, obviously, working with AUI, he's that type of person that will know this stuff inherently. He doesn't really need to practice that much because he's just pays attention.
You call
to the
me a
fine
robot,
details.
Shannon. There's your.
He is a.
There's your real.
He's an
Optimus
actual
Prime
robot. Yeah, that is true. Okay, so looking at the lineups, not any crazy picks. The Windranger will be played by Soxa. The panel talked about the fact that Soxa has been playing, well, some weird heroes. Let's say the Slark position 4, which has somehow worked, which is just mind-boggling to me. What do you think of Windranger? Windranger has been mostly a core, if I'm not mistaken, in this tournament thus far. This is the first game that I've seen that she's been a support. Do you think this, like, what's the reason behind this hero? Being picked in this game?
I think one of the primary benefits that Windranger has in this patch over previous ones is that the new areas on the map are extremely dense with trees. Like, every objective that you're going to be fighting for, Gates, Roche, the Tormentors, there's trees. So Shackles are pretty easy to hit. She's obviously okay in lane as usual. I don't think she's anything outstanding as a support compared to last patch in that regard, but it's probably just easier to line the connections. And I also think 733 made improved the search range of Shackle Shot to be more consistent.
Yep.
So when you're a high-skilled player, it's obviously, I think one of the frustrations that a lot of players had with the hero last patch and why they didn't want to play it was that you have this feeling in your mind of like, I hit that, and it just didn't hit. And if anyone can relate to that, it's you and 64-tick CS servers. So you can definitely understand that mindset, why you wouldn't want to play Windranger. Because that's why you don't want to play CS matchmaking.
That's right.
You
The
don't
AWP
like the tick,
feels so smooth on 128 tick, but on 64 it's unusable, you know? Concoction, Ramses!
No! Ramses!
Self-stuns. He's going to take a
Yes,
blood
die
grenade
for
along with a
this.
full firestorm, puts down his acid spray, and just dies.
Wait.
Soxa dies shortly after, but he gets the first blood gold. They get the XP. Huge blunder from Ramses.
Did he lose vision on both of them at the exact
Must have.
same time? It looked like he wasn't trying to move to throw it. He seemed very confident that he was going to have a target.
That's
and
because these are 64 tick servers.
maybe it's like when we were casting the other day and there was a Ravage and I forgot it 2 seconds later. Maybe he popped Concoction and forgot he was using it.
Yeah, the big AoE indicator.
Yeah, it's not enough.
Particle needs to be bigger on top of Alchemist's head. It's too close to the actual Alchemist. The Ogre's blocking it. But yeah, that's a big first blood to give up. And we've been seeing position 1 Alchemist in this tournament, obviously with the built-in Greevil's Greed, getting off to that good start as Kiyotaka taking heavy damage in mid lane.
Bullying him. He might
He's
just
going to
kill
continue, but the toss back should be fine.
Yeah.
So he wants to actually pursue through the trees here. Does not have Timber Chain yet. Oh my god! The blind whirling death around all those trees. Delicious. Okay, it wasn't blind.
Little fun fact about Timbersaw. He can do a lot of damage. Back to you, Shannon.
Thank you, Cinderin, for joining us again. Always big value to these casts.
Alchemist is kind of not doing as well in this lane as I was expecting. Not just, I mean, the death was obviously a blunder, as you mentioned, but 15 CS to the 25 of Underlord. Underlord is good against heroes like this, but I thought maybe that Chen could offset this early advantage, but I suppose didn't really find the right creeps. He now has the Lightning Harpy, which is the one you're hoping to get level 1. 9 is
he's already level 6.
If he kills him again.
If he,
oh
okay.
my god.
Calculated from 9. Already 2 kills in the mid lane.
This lane is giga over.
Boy.
They get a return to
Skeeter
bot.
does, he does drop in the bot lane, so something to salvage for 9 Pandas. But still, that mid lane is going to be an absolute disaster. I mean, it's not just a CS lead, as we talked about, the 10 CS right now for 9 ahead of the Tony mid. But
this is why they picked that Timber over the AA, Shannon. They were like, 9, go kill, and 9 said, okay.
Yes.
The ultimate strat.
I mean, Timber is definitely good this game. Concoction coming in. Can Soxa deny himself to Roche? No. So Ramses gets a much-needed kill in that top lane. And you can see Antares now coming to the mid lane to potentially help out Kiyotaka, but a 2-level advantage for 9.
Yeah.
Double damage with snag, so 9 won't be able to get that. Avalanche into the Nether Blast, and okay. Antares is the one that gets the kill, so maybe not exactly how they planned it, but they will take that nonetheless.
Yeah, they need it badly. 9 was over he's still over 1,000 net worth ahead mid-minute 6 here after getting that return kill, still just absolutely crushing mid. And keep in mind about this Dire lineup, it's Alchemist and Doom in the same team. This is a gold factory, the Dire lineup effectively, and well, if they're behind on gold, then the factory isn't really functioning very well. So
yeah, they're going to be out of commission here pretty soon. Skeeter's going to take a blood grenade as Snaking trying to draw some attention. He does so successfully, will likely fall for his transgressions here. Takes a little bit of investment, but at the very least, Skeeter will live if you're a Tundra fan.
Oh, they lose the Lightning Harpy. That's actually potentially important for the future of the top lane as well. We'll see if he finds another good creep here, Roger.
Whirling Death is so good against Tiny.
It's gonna
kind of crazy.
Skeeter here. This is my jungle now, he says.
Yeah, and I mean, they forced Skeeter out of lane completely. And
his lane is worse than Elk's. We haven't really talked about that, but Skeeter is struggling too.
I thought Ramses would be forced out in similar fashion, but he's just farming under his tier 1 tower, so he has the level advantage on Skeeter right now. And I mean, that's the one thing about Alchemist. If you just give him a little bit of space, he can. Yeah. His farm will just get amplified. What is going on here? Is this why we're paused? Are you serious?
Don't think so.
2 spoonfuls of sugar.
Yeah,
we need to see how much sugar 33 likes to.
33 spoons of sugar. Was that the reference there? Since you, or were you telling us that was 33? Because I know that's 33.
Oh, that's 3 spoons.
3. Is that the same
clip? Make it 4.
Shannon, that's the same clip.
No.
It's still 2.
It's the same one.
Okay, play it again so we can count the sticks.
Let's keep doing that until we hit 33.
5.
My goodness, is he part American?
I like this.
He's just consuming literal sugar at this point. Gracious. But yeah, the Alchemist just needs small amount of farm, Cinderin,
2 more.
Small amount of space.
2 more. Yes, 2 more.
We're done. You can't beat a dead horse. I mean, you can, I guess. You don't want to. It's not nice.
How do you like your coffee, Shannon? How many?
Just boatloads of sugar. That's what you want.
We're up to 8. And he has this ritual too. Every time he takes 2 spoons, he has to look to his right to see if people react, how they react to it. Okay, now I'm up to 8, guys. Is this too many?
Snake King, Frostbite, Power Shot to follow from Soxa, Blood Grenade as well. This is just the 2 supports plus 33. Ramses is dead under the tier 1. We just were giving him the benefit of the doubt.
Good side
nice
step.
dodge from Kiyotaka.
Important.
9 staying
Now
alive.
he needs to not walk in and die again, though.
Yeah.
All right, he's fine.
9 just looking for an opening.
Nice footwork there.
Yeah, it's like a little mini game trying to dodge.
Is it the shoes?
No,
Oh.
not. I don't think he's wearing shoes.
No. You get that reference, though?
No.
Actually?
Is that NBA?
Yeah. Isn't it basketball?
Yeah.
Your literal life, and you don't get the reference. Come on now.
I got it. 33, pushing the tier 1 tower. He's top net worth in the game. That sugar's being put to good use as the Vanguard. And we'll be going for the mech into the Greaves. Is this a Crimson game, Synderin?
I feel like Pipe is... I think Pipe is more important against Tiny Doom and Pugna.
I mean, is there any reason not to get everything? It's not like he's a Blink Dagger here, at least not that early.
Yeah, that's true, but I don't know if the... Okay.
He's going to get Hurricane back. You can see the Fiend's Gate is there to try to assist. 33. Looks like they're going to try to turn this around onto Roger. 9 still very low, though. Nether Blast is enough to finish him off. So, in the end, 9 Pandas get what they wanted. 33.
Oh, that was close, actually.
Almost gets stunned out.
That would probably have been fine, but...
As he's... Yep. Is that another more sugar? Well, he's
This is the mark of a talented player. As he is taking the tower, he's stirring the
well,
coffee.
if you're going to have that much sugar, you got to stir a lot.
I mean, it's honestly the perfect hero to have a tea with, or a coffee. You just cast Firestorm and then you stir your coffee.
Yeah.
That's basically...
That's fair.
That makes sense. Interesting item build from 9, right? He went Pavis, first item on the mid-timber.
Oh, wow. That's very cool.
Which is pretty unusual, but if there's something we've seen from Tundra in this tournament, creativity for me is the number one word.
Life
for this
Drain.
He's going to be fine.
Yep, he looks okay. He's going to Pavis himself. Yeah, that is very strange. Typically, we've been seeing that on basically the 4 or the 5 to cast on their core.
Very cool item on Timber because of the stats it gives. It gives health, mana regen, and armor. All of the 3 passives of this item are actually really good on the hero, and I think the reason 9 likes it is that it bridges the gap for Timber, where sometimes it's a little bit awkward in earlier stages of the game with how aggressive you can play. This gives you that little extra buffer while being a nice and cheap build-up. And of course, it gives you the utility of putting it on teammates. You can now save your supports in teamfights, which could definitely come in handy later on against Alchemists, for example, or Chen Creeps.
How fast do Timbersaws farm these days? Because, I mean, that's the one downside of Pavis is there's no upgrade path to it. I mean, how fast are you going to be getting 6 slot? We've been seeing some games go pretty damn late. Especially with Timbersaws, actually. We're seeing a lot of those Aghanim Scepters, which apparently can be dispelled, so
yeah.
Not sure why that's ever picked up.
I mean, we saw a sick game early today from Nothing to Say. Didn't win, but obviously got insanely big on his Timber. How fast does the hero farm? Quite fast. Probably not as fast as Alchemist or Doom. You know, it's just the name of the game, but... yeah, for the most part, I would say Timbers are comfortably sitting in the top 4 net worths of the game most of the time, especially when played out of mid. So he'll get his. Bottom tower will be claimed here by Roger. It looked like they were trying to give the last hit to Chen over the Doom there, which makes me wonder if he's close to an item. Not really. He just got the mech. Now working on the drums. A lot of the time you see those towers go to course when you have free choice, but
wait, no, it couldn't.
wanted to give it to him.
Well, Roger is a stand-in, technically speaking, so just trying to make him feel welcome.
Yeah.
Kiyotaka able to pound on the tier 1 mid a bit with Antares on the high ground. Snaking trying to delay this a bit as we can see 9 coming back, and
Good Ava.
his Timber Chain is going to be disrupted by the Avalanche. And what type of timing are we looking for a Wraith King these days? I mean, is this just a Armlet Deso Blink kind of game?
It feels that way. If you have Wraith King as the carry against Doom and Alk, you definitely want heavy single target damage. I don't think Radiance does much to this lineup because they have all the passive regen, all the healing. So yeah, way better off going the other build. And that's something we didn't really talk about too much when we said both Alchemist and Wraith King were struggling. Obviously, you mentioned that the Alch can come back pretty well. Wraith King, when playing from behind, I would say is one of the worst carries in Dota a lot of the time. Sure, you have the second life, but if you don't have items, you don't pose any threat anyway. So
Right.
most of the time, you can just kite and ignore.
Well, how does the new map favor him? Or does it favor him? Because there's just so many more camps now for these skelly boys to take out.
I'm uncertain because obviously the way they operate, you can't control them, and I don't know if how easily you can wrangle them from camp to camp, which was a thing that players were strategizing when they were playing Wraith King in the old patch, especially to me, the expert farmer on this hero, K1 Hector from Beast Coast, was finding ways of maximizing the crap out of that. But I don't know how it works now. You need to have vision of the camps for the skeletons to want to go there to begin with.
Yeah.
And now that the camps are placed differently, maybe you can't do that so easily. So I'm just as curious about that as you are. The outskirts should be very hard to have vision on, right? Like corralling them from camp to camp on the edges, you don't generally see them. So
Ramses is about to get his Radiant, so it'll be about a 13-minute, 30 seconds, and he has some juicy-ass stacks to take
threads to go with.
after
Well,
the fact.
pretty good timing.
Yeah, so Ramses has definitely bounced back. Now, he's still not top net worth, which is something you do want to see if you're position 1 Alk, but of course there is the Doom on his team, who has had a pretty good game to start this out, Miero, so I had to say that, didn't I? Frostbite, Underlord is here to assist in the CC. Miero goes down to Skeeter.
You were right, though. He has had a good game until now.
That's
So
true. Yeah, I
doesn't change.
wasn't incorrect. And Kiyotaka, he's smoked up. He has his Blink Dagger. I don't know if he's revealed it yet. Nine showing himself in the mid lane. Oh, okay. Tim didn't want to pick up that regen. Kiyotaka still looking for an opening with the help of Antares. Of course, 9 would be a very difficult kill.
They can't kill him as 2. No way in hell.
Soxa also has a Pavis, so seems like the minds of AUI and the rest of Tundra thinking that this might be their new Wraith Pact, Cinderin. The best item in the game, as it were. Denied tower here from 33, but 9 Pandas able to technically get rid of that tower in some fashion. Soxa, Avatos, back into Miero, into the first Doom of the game with the Infernal Blade. Soxa is done for. Kiyotaka gets credit for it.
They really wanted him dead, huh? I mean, the thing about the Dire lineup is that if Tundra aren't putting pressure on them, they can start throwing out their Dooms on supports and whatever, because they're probably pretty comfortable just trading farm. Because they have, as we mentioned, incredible ways of acquiring gold.
Yeah.
The 2 best in the game.
Well, Kiyotaka trying to counteract this initial initiation from Snake King, who gets off his freezing field right in front of everybody. There's a nice Pit Lord. I called him Pit Lord. Underlord Pit.
Nice Pavis.
Of Malice. Thank you.
How can they survive? Okay, so they pipe into Pavist him and kept him alive at 20% health. If they hadn't been able to interrupt that freezing field, they would have actually died.
Yeah, for sure.
Some nice protection there from Tundra.
That might be the first time in a long time that a CM is basically ganked and lives. That is not a common occurrence at all.
5k gold lead. And it's going to keep growing, because it doesn't feel like Tundra's lineup right now is going to be able to push them out of the jungle or force fights that they can win.
Yeah.
So again, the question is, the Dire lineup is expected to be ahead on
my
right
God,
now. But
so
what is
many
the breaking
stacks.
point? Like, when is it too much? Because Timbersaw can obviously compensate for lower net worth against strength heroes until BKBs come out. Underlord has percentage-based damage with the Firestorm. But I don't think you can just play like this for the next 10 minutes as Tundra and feel happy about it. Like, there's got to be some point where something needs to happen, but can you do it yet? I don't think they're capable.
Well, like you said, Wraith King can't really participate yet. He is very close to finishing the Deso, though.
Yeah.
But is that even enough? Because you'll likely want a Blink Dagger after the fact. And from Nine's perspective, he, after the Pavis, went for a Kaya Sange, and will be going for a Shard next. Interesting that he's prioritizing that so early. I think in the game in Gladiators game, who was playing the Timbersaw?
It's eluding me right now.
For LGD?
Oh, for LGD, it was nothing to say.
Oh yeah, that was a different series, yeah. He didn't go shard the entire game. It was like an 80-minute game.
Yeah, he bought it mega late. I think he bought it right before they lost.
That's gotta be like...
I think he forgot it, honestly.
It's a decent item. It's pretty good.
I'm pretty sure he forgot it, because he had like 12,500 gold and wasn't buying it.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, man,
It's
Teres?
interesting. How could you forget a flamethrower?
It's a good question.
That's
9. He's gonna run right into Antares, who will horsey away. The tier 1 tower
boing.
Is likely going to be the target for Tundra. Although we can see the defense is being mounted already by 9 Pandas. There's the pit to try to create some space. And even Nether Ward is placed. So we'll see if they actually want to defend this. No, they'll end up giving it up. Skeeter gets that bad boy, and the Deso already online. And yeah, he's going to be likely just farming this Blink Dagger now and then. Perhaps that's the point in which they want to fight. But Ramses has his BKB now. He's going to have his Blink not too far away as well.
And we had this talk the other day. We don't know exactly how accurate the win expectancy graph is and what data it uses, but I just found it interesting to look at it right now and see effectively a 50-50. It's a 7k gold lead minute 18, but the Dire lineup is expected to be building this amount of advantage with their heroes, and the Radiant definitely has tools to combat them even when they're far ahead. The key item is BKB, because once that is active, Timbersaw isn't that big of a threat, Underlord isn't as big of a threat. They're going to be dealing damage now compared to in the past where they would do nothing, but it's still not going to be enough with just the Firestorm.
Yeah, I mean, either way, both teams seem pretty happy with just trading farm.
Yeah.
And like you said, just having these 2 gold inherent heroes will give them an advantage.
Bit of an X factor on the supports too.
Shackle shot. Okay. Timber chaining in as well. The heal coming out from Antares doesn't have much mana to speak of now. The toss back. Okay. Kiyotaka is dead though. The right click is way too much to handle from Skeeter. Antares looks to be next. Trying to heal up inside his Decrepify, but won't last too long.
Nice moment of opportunity there from Tundra, finding the Tiny. It's the dream. Can they Roche?
Yeah,
they have
they
Wraithing
definitely
Death, so probably just going to force this here.
Yeah.
And yep, that blows the game wide open for them. This is a crucial item for the Dire lineup to function, is to have this Aegis, and they're going to have to wait quite a while to get their hands on that now at this point.
There you can see the beautiful Shackle shot from Soxa that sets everything up. Antares did his best to keep his mid position 2 alive. But the rest of 9 Pandas just weren't in position to actually fight here. That'll lead to the Roche, like you said. Oh, he's putting the sugar back? Okay, I see. That's a pretty nice skill to have. That's like magic. Magic fingers from 33. So 7k lead for 9 Pandas, but Aegis was put on the Timbersaw. Not a huge surprise considering Wraith King has one built in. So this will be very difficult to get through both of these guys now. And I mean, we talked about the timings from Tundra. What about the timings from 9 Pandas? Like when do they want to fight?
I think you want BKB on at least the Alk.
He's had that for a while.
Yeah, but I don't think him alone is enough. So him plus... I was gonna say the Tiny, but it looks like Kiyotaka isn't even going for one. Which begs the question, so he's going Silver Edge next to, I'm assuming, try to break Atrophy Aura here? Is that the best? Probably, I mean, you can also break the Reactive Armor. Yeah, I don't know. I think a lot of teams in this position as Dire will try to press the issue, but they might be worried about the defensive potential of Tundra's lineup, which should definitely not be underestimated, so with that in mind, you know, you buy the BKB on Alchemist for the purpose of fighting in case one breaks out, but if you don't see one on your terms, it's not like it's terrible for him to just have it in his bags. Alchemist farms fast, regardless. In other cases with other heroes, it's like if you buy BKB and then don't fight, you just lose on economy. This hero doesn't have that concern, really.
Yeah.
So.
All right, who gets the shards? CM got it for Tundra.
Chen.
It will be Chen. Great call from Cinderin. The 50-50 is good. And, of course, this allows him to take over Ancients. And it's
levels up the creeps by 1 level.
That's right. You get the level 4 ability. Well, after the 30-minute mark, you get the level 4 ability for creeps, but I think you have to take over a new one.
But for now, you get level 3 earlier.
Well,
they're just one level higher.
I'm not sure how that works. I don't know if you need to take over them for that to occur, or if it upgrades your current creep.
I don't think it's retroactive.
I doubt it upgrades your current creeps. But look at these freaking rally skills.
I mean, when you mouse over his current creeps, they're level 2. So I would assume it doesn't work retroactively. No, wait, one of them is level 3 now.
Oh, well, how old is
One is level 3, one is level 2. So yeah, it doesn't. That's got to be the conclusion, right?
Yeah.
Unless he has one of them from level 1.
Yeah.
That could be the case, actually.
Could be.
A good old troll, a faithful friend. Triple troll
Jesus.
and one wolf.
Look at these
Here
skelly
comes
boys.
the skeleton apocalypse. This is straight out of Left 4 Dead.
And they all died.
Unfortunately,
it's the apocalypse for the skeletons, I think. They are the ones dying again.
Very spooky, but not very tanky. So
they did exactly 0 damage to that tower.
Yeah. I mean, that's kind of how Left 4 Dead did as well, right? There's a lot, and you just keep shooting them, and it's about not getting overwhelmed, but that army was not enough. He's bringing hundreds.
Assault Kuros now on Ramses. And he'll be going for the Basher, likely to be the Abyssal Blade after the fact in order to get the Blink stun.
Yeah.
And, I mean, he'll be 6-slotted basically at that point. I guess he
another pick for Tundra.
Arrow finds himself next to the Lotus Farm, or Fountain. And he's going to die, because you're not allowed to do that right now.
Deso charges for Skitter, worth keeping a little bit of an eye on. This hero is so many skeletons.
Oh my goodness.
Wraith King Deso, I would say, is one of the best in the game because you have a guaranteed crit, right? It means that every single stack you get on this Deso means more of a guaranteed burst whenever you jump. Speaking of which, Antares...
He gets off his Decrepify. He's trying to heal up a bit on the 9, but one more crit from Skeeter will...
Now up to 8.
Make him die. And, yeah, this is such a nuisance. They're finally going to be able... Nope. He ends up getting the creeps back to him in time. The skeletons won't survive, but of course, that's just a cooldown. Ramses, all right, he actually wants to fight. Gets off the concoction onto Skeeter. Kiyotaka's in the area as well to get off the avalanche. So this is going to be 1 life of Skeeter down, and Miero's here, so you can only assume a Doom, actually not even needed. It ends up being a very, very easy kill.
And this is Roger's final reward, right? Like from constantly pushing bottom and finally forcing heroes down, Tundra got spread a little bit too thin, and this is what you're always hoping for with Chen when you keep sending these skellies in, is either you get the tower or the right heroes rotate for your team to make a move. And they identified it right away. Jumped the Wraith King, and a little bit of a misstep from Skeeter there, just out of position given the circumstances, and will get punished, so nicely done there. And they're going to try to get extras out of this straight up smoking, looking for maybe a kill top here. 9 could be doomed, potentially.
Yeah, they held on to it. He's going to spot him, though. Lotus is there. Avalanche. And, Antares actually blocks his path completely. Miero, he can get the Doom. Oh, he had his arms up, couldn't find the distance. And 9 saw he was going to find his way to the other side of the cliff, but might turn into a big old-fashioned team fight as Ramses jumps in. 33 with the Pit of Malice. Finally, the Doom comes out. Soxa looks to be done for Roger. Getting healed by Antares. They want to keep this Chen alive, apparently. Nether Blast is there. It's a 2-for-0. 9 Pandas. The concoction continues, so ends up being 3 kills netted for the side of 9 Pandas.
Yeah, just extra casualties trying to help there. One of the moments where you might just have to cut your losses and say, all right, they got us, boys. They got the timber, but now they get 2 additional support kills.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
It's an extra reward, and it honestly almost looked like 9 was getting out. He actually played that exceptionally well with trying to find a blind angle to TP out, but Miero did find the Doom. You're going to see the replay here. Notice how... So now Miero is connecting, can't reach the Doom in time, gets his arm up, and then 9 goes from here and up to the tree straight above here, and now he's going to start juking off to the side to not get concocted. And he's standing in this fog area, but now they get vision with a ward, of all things. Without placing that obs, 9 survives.
Yeah, possibly.
So, well done from the supporting cast of...
And Roger continuing his rampage of Skelly boys. The Dark Troll Summoners are really going to work this game. And of course, Tundra have amazing answers to these skeletons, as they've shown time and time again. I'd love to see a stat on how much gold they've gotten from those things. They give almost nothing, but that... hundreds at this point.
Yeah, probably. But the amount of effort they need to put in, right? I think
Yeah, that's the big thing.
7 skeletons is probably the same as 1 melee creep. So the CS is going to be extremely misleading.
Now, the
they
sad
come.
thing for Roger is, of his 3 troll summoners, one of them is the level 3 out of 4, and the other 2 are level 2. So, needs to find some replacements. These guys can get bigger, you know? More skelly health, more skelly damage. Can't ignore that.
I wonder if he's having fun.
I mean,
Can we get a full camera
he
shot
bought
of Roger
2 sets
here?
of boots, so...
He looks content.
Yeah, he's going to have Boots of Bearing along with his Greaves. About 2/5 the way to a Sir Action Slack's normal day in a pub.
He's actually just playing a different game from everyone else.
Is under attack.
He is.
It's kind of funny to watch. Just like, yeah, this is another thing you can obviously do with them. Amazing scouting tools.
Yeah,
you just have
get a million of
mobile
them.
wards,
For sure.
a never-ending army of the boys.
And they're coming. The March of the Skeleton.
Now, what I want to see, I want Wraith King skeletons to fight Roger skeletons. I want to fight to the death.
No, this is the heat
Undead
map for
versus
Chen.
undead, but
Okay.
one of the undeads has 2 lives and the other undead have died once.
Roger's been all over the place is what this is showing us.
Well, it is. He's heading back to top. He's made enough skeletons bottom. It's time to completely revolutionize his playstyle by going top and making skeletons top. Oh, yes.
Yeah, very important. Kiyotaka not able to find the opening as of yet, as the Wraith King skeletons are following him, and they're going to surround him. He already has to pop his BKB, but here comes Ramses. Gets off the concoction. The focus right now is onto Skeeter, but of course does have his ult available, thus will be coming back. Ramses, now he
Nice
pops
blink.
BKB, but Skeeter able to blink away to safety, and Teres is getting burned down by 9 Shard. Meanwhile, Ramses just slaps snaking into another universe. Has to buy back into the game, and Teres is going to be the trade, so 1-for-1 support for support, but it did require a buyback from Tundra.
And they're not really going to get anything out of this buyback either, right? I mean, well, Roche is actually respawning now, so if they could somehow control this
But the
area and grab
skeletons!
this,
The skeletons!
yes, you gotta.
Look at these things! Okay, this is actually a bit scary. Okay, the
Shit, they have
fortification.
75 damage each.
Alright, they're
Glyph is
they're
good,
dying.
though.
Yeah, they're dying horribly. And Roche will go the way of Tundra. And yeah, 1 fortification kills literally every skeleton. But hey, maybe if he had the level 4 Skelly Boys.
He's got new
Would've
ones
worked
though. Reinforcements have arrived.
And there we go. More to come. And there's 9. Okay.
This reminds me of, what was that ability called? Did you ever play Warcraft 3?
Yeah. What do you mean,
You-
did I play Warcraft?
Do you remember Human had this thing where they could fight with their peasants? Was it called Call to Arms? Where you turn
Yeah.
them into militia?
Yeah.
Is under
I don't know why this reminds me of that. It just keeps sending these like little shitters in non-stop.
Little shitters. I see.
I don't know,
See
it's
what you
like
think of the Skelly Boys.
Constant call to arms. These little pesky peasants just keep attacking.
I am genuinely surprised that, well, a couple things. Number one, he hasn't upgraded his Troll Summoners at any point this game.
Yep.
And number two, the enemy hasn't killed the Troll Summoners, which
They haven't
maybe,
found them.
maybe it's better for them that they don't, because he can't upgrade them. Or, I mean, he can, but he's not doing it.
Yeah. I
The
think
counter to the counter to the counter. It's next level.
I think they just don't want to waste their time hunting troll summoners in the jungle, and they have more important things to do,
Like
such as
defend
getting
the skeletons
such
every
as
2
getting
minutes.
33, the first heart of the patch on Underlord. That's his 3rd item.
Oh, wow. He's
This is
tanky.
very uncommon pickup for this hero.
Huh.
Wonder what the rationale is here, because there's obviously other items that are interesting, such as Shiva's Guard or Halberd.
Well, it synergizes with Crimson. Strength-based.
Yeah. That might be the entire reason, but it's not like that huge.
Do the math. Give me the math.
Okay, so 40 strength is another 20 on the block.
Okay. The
Right.
skeletons do how much damage then?
Yeah, it's
It's
definitely
blocking
against
the
the
skeleton.
skeletons. I'm sure that's
Yeah.
why.
Look at them. They're powerful. Roger. Oh, he's going to get an Ancient Granite Golem. How many summoners does he
no.
have now? It's only 2? He's lost one.
All right, we say thank you for your service to Troll Summoner number 1.
Yeah. Now, the question is, did he keep the higher level one?
Yeah, I'm trying to find it. Oh, he just killed one.
Oh, no.
He is done. He has moved on. He's a changed man.
Oh, there's 2. Yeah, there's still 2 available. We're going to fight in the mid lane. Skeeter gets off his Wraithfire Blast, focusing. Oh, Anthera is able to be saved by his Eon Disc as the Doom is procced onto the Wind Ranger. And that is a nice pickup
It's a dieback
for 9 Pandas. Absolutely. 2 supports dead with no return in sight. Despite having the Aegis on this Wraith King, they're just not going to focus him. Instead, they're going to go for the Fatty McFatty Heart Underlord, who seems pretty squishy, all things considered. 3 dead for Tundra.
It's pretty squishy. Just 5 heroes beating into him for 10 seconds.
Yeah. All the skeletons. 9
Well, they don't have
Pandas now
buybacks,
knocking on the high ground. Is Tundra... They're going for the Shard right now. Okay, interesting. Underlord gets it. It's going to cost them... I mean, they can't defend anyway. That's going to be 1 set of racks for 9 Pandas. They're actually going to go for the throne. No, they're going to go for that second set in the bottom. They can't go for Megas because the tier 2 exists in the top lane. I mean, they could legitimately go for throne right now.
Oh boy, the Skelly boys.
Skellies are continuing to go to work. Fortifications popped.
By Daddy Golem.
Half of them die.
Giving
That's
them
why
a
you got
lot
the
of
Ancient
extra
Granite
health.
Golem to get the extra HP. And this is going to be the death of the first tier 4. Are they going to stop? I don't think so. 10 seconds on these 2 heroes still remaining for Tundra. They still have the Aegis. Skeeter finally jumps into the frame. They're just going to focus down the Ancient. All they have to do is right-click, and that's it. GG. 9 Pandas and the Skeletons.